So yeah, it is indeed pretty simple. Talking about numbers, here in Finland we have about 66% of the population part of the evangelical Lutheran community, which has has had an emphasis on the religious practices and understandings here in Finland. About 1% of the people are part of the Christian Orthodox Church. Servali is it's actually a wild cat that is found in Africa. Until a couple of weeks ago, I've been telling tourists that it's a fictional animal, but we had a tourist from Australia, and because of that, once again, Swedish is an official language. Not only that, but the Finnish students also have to learn Swedish at school, so they would have to learn Finnish, Swedish, English as mandatory, and also a fourth mandatory language, which is usually German or French. So theoretically, at the end of the years, the average Finnish student will know four languages. In 1970, it was promoted as a way to introduced as a way to promote the literacy, and no matter if you came from the city area or from the rural area, you would get. They are absolutely amazing. The cinnamon rolls, as we know, we cut them and then we put them one next to each other in the oven. The cinnamon buns, the korvapustit, are actually also cut, but then you would smash them and top them with this hard sugar, and it is absolutely amazing. Every time when I'm coming back from a tour, I would get one from the local pastry shop. About 6 or 7 cups of coffee per day, which is a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. But considering we have so much darkness during the winter and there's not a lot of light, you need some coffee so that you can get through the day. Indeed, they are not very strong. They are not like espressos. They are diluted with water, but still 6-7 cups. That's a lot. It's a lot indeed. Yeah. Finnish food recommendations or anything. I also have a list with restaurants that I can give you. But I would say it's better for those of you who want at the end of the tour, I can let you take a picture of the list.
Helsinki fully covered in snow during the winter?
One of the last cities that get covered in snow, because it's one of the most southern cities. But yeah, usually from the end of November to April, it's snow. Okay, once again, if you'd like to get a little bit closer to me, so we can leave some space to the other people on the sidewalk. Welcome everyone to one of the ports here in Helsinki. There we have the icebreakers in the distance, those very, very big boats in white and yellow. Those very big ones in the distance are the icebreakers. And we also have the red boat, which is right there in that direction. And I'm actually going to start talking about the red boat first. So the red boat is actually the first kind of this boat that was built here in Finland. It was built between 1886 and 1888. And why I've said it has such a rich history, it's because it was actually a light ship or a lighthouse ship. So its only reason was to be stationary and just show the way to the sea, to the ports of Helsinki, to the seafarers that were incoming to the ports of Helsinki. It didn't transport goods, it didn't transport people, it was only staying in... as you know, Finland is surrounded by water, and this water usually freezes during the winter. And this is when the icebreakers come in very, very handy. The first icebreaker was built at the end of the 19th century, and it was built to keep the waterways open of the ports here in Finland and in Helsinki as well. Right now, Finland is the world leading country when it comes to the icebreaker technology. We have 10 icebreakers in total, and all of them are owned by the Finnish state. Right there, we can only see 6 of them. One is also behind one of them there, and that means that the rest 4 are in a mission. We usually send them in missions in countries such as the US or Canada, because this is where they also need them as well. And yeah, these icebreakers are also used in the rescue missions. So if somebody somehow gets stuck on the middle of an island during the winter, I don't know how, but if it happens, this is how the icebreakers would come in into the rescue. So yeah. An interesting thing about each icebreaker is that each icebreaker has a name, and the name is actually written on the side of each icebreaker. We can see there some examples as Otso and Polaris. And one interesting thing about these names is that the Finnish people actually name their babies after the names of the icebreakers. Yeah, as a way of honoring them. I have a colleague, a Finnish colleague, his name is Otso. I wonder why, right? Yeah, indeed. They play a very, very big and important role in the economy of Finland, because they keep the waterways open, and therefore the ships that are carrying goods and people are able to get into the ports of Finland and into the ports of Helsinki as well. And this is why, as an honor, the people of Finland do these things. And yeah, they're very, very important. Also, one name that one of the icebreaker has is Sisu. Has anyone heard of the name Sisu?
It's a movie, right?
It's a movie as well, and the word Sisu is actually a word in Finnish, but it's interesting because it doesn't have a...
Why do they have different colors? Is there a special meaning?
No special meaning, no. Absolutely no. And they're very huge, they're very, very big, as you can see. And it only takes a crew of about 10 to 15 people to run them. And considering they're that huge, they have to be like that because they have to have a big weight that they would break the ice with it. And also the materials in the front of the ship are reinforced materials that actually resist to all the shocks and all of the stress they are under. So yeah. Now we're gonna...
it.
Okay. So, once again, same drill. If you could come a little bit closer to me. Very different climate. The temperatures are way warmer there, and they would find it the hard way that the white marble would freeze during the winter, and then in the spring, when the ice would thaw, it would simply get destroyed. It would crack. And this is why every year they have to apply a protective layer on top of it, as so the marble wouldn't get destroyed. And why it's controversial is because the citizens of Helsinki have to pay for that. So yeah, pretty interesting indeed. It's also considered to be one of, let's say, not the most successful architectures of Alvar Aalto. It's had some incredible design, some incredible architecture, but this building, let's say that is not one of his best works, let's call it like that. The white marble on the outside represents the snow and the long winter months that we have here in Helsinki and in Finland. In Helsinki we have about 6 months of snow, and if you go up in Lapland it can get close to 8 or 9 months of snow, winter and darkness, and yeah, not a very interesting place to be indeed. So yeah, there's also a university in Helsinki called Aalto University, which has a very famous school of arts and architecture between 1862 and 1868. So it started 10 years after the completion of the Helsinki Cathedral, and it was the primary church of the Russian Christian Orthodox community. We have this very beautiful Russian Byzantine style on the outside with the red brick facade and the onion-like looking domes, if we take a look up there. And the interior, it is just as impressive with the mosaics and the painted icons that represent the history of Christianity, of Christian Orthodoxism. In Romania, the majority of people are Christian Orthodox, and as myself. And when I first entered the Scenic Cathedral, it felt like I was brought back to Romania. Although it's part of the Russian Patriarchy, it has some similarities, and I felt really close to it. So because of that, yeah, I can say that it's very beautiful, and I'm actually gonna invite you to go inside. Once again, about 5 minutes, in about 5 or 6 minutes, if you could come back, that would be perfect, so we can continue with our tour. So yeah.
nähdään.
So if you visited Bari, you can notice some kind of resemblance with this middle pedestrian walk and the one-lane car roads on each side of it. The Esplanade Park is one of the places. Welcome everyone to the railway station square. Here we have some very beautiful buildings. We have the Atheneum on that side. We have the railway station right behind me, and also the Finnish National Theatre right there on the right. And I'm gonna start talking about the Atheneum, which is one of the most citizens of Helsinki. The one in front of it, the city center. Yeah, I don't know what they would expect from a shopping center, but still, I mean, it's. On that side of the building that I want to talk about. So we will move there. You can take a listen to this speaker.
So exciting!
To be scared of and nothing to hide. So yeah, very interesting. If you take a look into that direction, there is a blue telephone booth in this building, the one that says an HS on the side of it, right here. And that telephone booth is actually connected to one of the radio channels around Helsinki Sanoma. I don't know exactly which one, but...
Ça va, faut juste éditer après.